So let me talk to you about the real dad. There's so many different narratives about the real dad, but the truth of the matter is the real dad is a combination of so many things. And today I would like to discuss the real dad. So stay tuned, stay locked, and we'll be back with descriptions of who the real dad is. So in my estimation of the real dad is compassionate. The real dad is loving. The real dad is thoughtful. The real dad is giving. The real dad is a protector. The real dad is a developer. The real dad is an architect. The real dad is a visionary. The real dad is someone that you can come to when you need a shoulder to lean on. That is some of the descriptions that make a real dad. But let me get a little deeper for you. The real dad understands that the distinct line between compassion and courage is understanding that you always must be in control of your emotion. The real dad understands that he has a mission. His mission is to provide memories so that long after he's gone, there's a legacy, something rich that he has given his kids, that he has given his family, that they can attach themselves to and every now and then energize themselves because he has left them something so rich and something so vital. The real dad understands that pride can be the villain and the thief of a worthwhile journey with your family. And if you don't regulate it, then what happens is you have a building that burned down and you have complete ashes. The real dad understands that love is something that motivates you, but love can't be the only reason that you get up out your bed and do the things that are required of you from day to day. The real dad understands that children are images and reflections of who you are. And if you put the right amount of energy into these children, the right amount of learned knowledge into these children, what you get is always a better version of yourself that meets the demands of today. The real man understands that falling in love is deadly, but it's also rewarding. And so the real man understands that he has to teach his children about love, the pitfalls, the joys, this never-ending roller coaster of ups and downs. The real dad understands that finances, responsibility, that these things, they matter. But the real dad understands more so than anything his ability to be engaged, focused, locked in, ready, available, asking questions. That makes the real dad. The real dad understands that listening is probably the most important part of his mission. To hear what's going on, to see what's going on, and to make a critical assessment in times of need, and then execute the right measure of action that will turn things around. The real dad understands that if he's not there, the family, the children, they are missing key ingredients that are necessary to the development of that family and those children. The real dad understands that his journey is nothing without complete buy-in from the mothers of these children. Let me say that again. The real dad is always of the mindset that his journey as a dad weighs heavily on the buy-in of the mother of his children. The real dad understands that it's a give and take situation, and sometimes you have to compromise. But he's never backed into a corner and he's never walked over. The real dad understands that if he's going to accomplish anything and get anywhere, there must be a level of respect for him at all times and what he's bringing to the table. The real dad will always make sure that when he's in the presence of a woman, his children sees a gentleman and a true art of a man at his best, because he understands that women gives life, but women can also destroy life, because without their ability to connect with you, what do you really have when it comes to raising children? The real man is not so much bent out or stressed out on money, but he's stressed out on whether or not he has given himself completely to his children and to a situation. The real man is constantly questioning himself, questioning his behavior, questioning his wisdom. Is there enough for me to carry this load every day? The real dad is always searching, always reading, always learning, always sucking in, always absorbing everything about life, so that when he reaches out to touch his children, he has quality to transfer to his children. The real dad understands that his children will watch him every second of his existence and will never look away. So the real dad understands that there's always a performance, and the performance must be stellar, because at some point these children are going to try to duplicate that same performance. The real dad wants an abundance of things to happen for his children, but most importantly, he wants his children to be so much more than what he was. And even if he gave his best, he knows that that's only scratching the surface, because the skills that he's delivered only speaks to what he has learned, and his kids are living in a moment that he's really unfamiliar with. The real dad has no problem with saying, I don't know. You hear me? The real dad. And if he doesn't know, the real dad will do everything in his power to make sure that he knows, that he seeks out that information that is desperately needed. The real dad is never at odds with his woman or his pride, because he understands that these two components, they give gravity to the job that he's doing. And he accepts them, he embraces them, and he understands how to utilize them in times of need. The real dad never looks for a pat on the back, because he knows that this is the simplest form of saying I love you. Being in the ball game every day, coaching those kids, showing them how to hold a bat, teaching them manners. The real dad never shies away from an opportunity that could be a learning moment. The real dad takes the time to make sure that his son has a complete understanding of what true masculinity is, and that living in a box is not a place of existence, but living outside of the box is a place of fulfillment. The real dad is willing to go the mile and then some to make sure that his children are ready, prepared to embrace the world, to unlock that door and say, I have arrived. The real dad is interested in passing out tools, because tools are the only way to fix things, to build things, and to also help create a new future. The real dad is never confused about what his ultimate goal is. At some point, the real dad becomes an apprentice, a mechanic, and the CEO. And what it simply means is this: the apprentice is a new dad in training, somebody that's not familiar with everything that is required. The mechanic is someone that's actually doing daddy work, gaining points, making sure that whenever problem arises, he's there. He's giving, he's imparting. But the CEO of those three dads, or those three tiers, is the guy that has built, he has taught, and he has given a set of skills. And he sits back and he watches. And he assumes a position of being observant to whether or not his children, his family has really prospered from everything that he has given them. And every now and then, he may come in and just tweak it just a little bit. Not too much, but just enough to say, here, son, here you go, daughter. I just think you need to add this one little ingredient, or do this right over here. And that's the CEO. And when those three tiers have been executed and fulfilled, he steps back and he allows his children to step into a new world boldly, courageously, fearlessly, and excitingly and with excitement, ready to explore everything life has to offer and then some. So anybody out there that has a misconception of a real dad, I hope this has narrowed it down for you. The dads are not myopic. Dads are universal. Dads are valuable. Dads are uninhibited. And dads come to the table wanting to execute the best amount of love, compassion that they can bring every day. And they believe that their A game is the only way. And last but not least, they understand that the real dad doesn't know it all. So the real dad understands that he doesn't know all the answers, but he's willing to search high and low to make sure that he finds the answers that his family needs. He's unapologetic about his commitment to his family. That's the real dad. So the next time you ask yourself about the real dad, understand that the real dad is everything, and some things that you can't even comprehend. My name is JB the Mentor, and I hope I've given you a deep glimpse into the real dad. And all you have to do is look around you, because they're everywhere. And this narrative, this crooked narrative of the real dad not being there, not being engaged, not being ready to work, is false. Take a look around you and you'll be surprised to see how many CEOs you have, how many mechanics you have, and how many apprentices you have. At the end of the day, all of these tiers make one dad. This is JB the Mentor. If you love content like this, please leave comments below. Hit that like button, that comment button, that bell in the middle, so that when new content is released, you'll be the first ones to receive it. As I always say, love yourself, love your community, and be the change that you want to see. And remember, the world needs Real Dads.